Hello Cancers, Turquoise Tarot here with your December reading. I hope you all are having a wonderful month. I wish you all a wonderful, happy holiday season and a happy new year. If anyone is interested in a private reading or would like to contact me, I'll post my website and my email address in the information box below this video. And if you are interested in making a donation to my channel, which is always greatly appreciated, I'll post the information for that as well in the information box below. Now I'm going to be doing 3 spreads today. One is for a general reading, another for singles, and the last one is going to be for couples. So with that said, let me go ahead and shuffle. And this is again going to be the general reading for Cancers for the month of December. And I did shuffle a bit prior to beginning the video, so I'm not going to spend too much time doing that. But we do have the Page of Wands here, the Tower, the Six of Swords, the Five of Wands, the Moon, the Hanged Man, the Seven of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and the Page of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles. So let me see what's going on here. Well, for some of you, this is job related. And I feel like some of you are very bored with the mundane, maybe what you're doing with your job, the day-to-day, in and out, doing the same thing over and over and over again. And you're kind of wanting a new start. You're wanting either promotion, or you're wanting to even change careers completely. And for some of you, I feel like there's a fire sign in your midst, and maybe they're being a bit competitive or combative in the work environment, and it's really causing you to analyze and reflect on, you know, what has worked and what hasn't worked in the past, but also how you want to go, where you want to go from here, you know, how you want to proceed. There's a fear here about job loss. There's a fear about something happening, even if it's not job loss. It could just be that you're afraid that there's going to be some major catastrophe or shakeup within your work environment. And so that's prompting some of you to change jobs, post out for different positions, or again, just change careers completely. And it's a sacrifice to be made, but at the end of the day, by the end of the month, I feel like you're going to get a new job opportunity. You know, you're worried that you're not going to get one, but you will. For those of you who are seeking employment, it's been a battle. It's been challenging. You've tried different avenues, different kinds of employment in the past. Nothing has panned out the way that you had hoped, but by the end of the month, you are finding employment. The message here, no matter what you're going through, because I feel like there's a strong financial or, you know, career-based kind of message here. No matter what you're going through and what your fears are, just know that by the end of the month, you're coming up as the King of Pentacles. So this is someone who's very financially sound and secure, who has control of his finances, and someone who feels confident and stable. So that's where you're headed, and that's where you're going to be. This is just a transition, you know. A lot of the beginning of the month for you is a big transition into gaining that new employment or that new opportunity. There is a sacrifice to be made in letting go of maybe an old job or an old dream job. I'm sorry, I have a toddler home today, so if you hear any background noise, that's what you hear. But yeah, there's a sacrifice to be made, but I don't feel like your greatest fears are going to be, coming to fruition. It's just a fear. And the High Priestess here under the Moon card is saying, be careful what you manifest. Be careful what you're spending a lot of your time and energy thinking about, because you don't want to manifest something catastrophic for yourself. Try to be positive. Try to be optimistic. Because again, there's something good promised to you by the end of the month. For some of you, this is talking about wanting to start a new venture, a creative venture. And maybe you're seeking some opposition from people close to you. So you're evaluating what they're saying, and you're kind of looking at, is this possible? Can I do this? Don't take what they say to heart. Don't let that be your deciding factor. Because they're putting a lot of negative things in your head, and they're making you feel as though, you're not capable, or that it's not going to be successful. And there's a need to walk away from that and just trust in yourself. Let's use the clarifying cards here. And we'll see what other messages come through. I want to look at the Moon card in the center. So your fears involve an ending of employment or an ending of a situation, because there's someone in your midst that, again, with this Page of Wands, I'm feeling it's a fire sign, who maybe is emotionally immature, or they're acting very immature, and they're creating some conflict for you. You feel like, obviously they don't have your best interest at heart, but pleasure seekers is people who act foolishly or stupidly, and for selfish reasons, okay? So you're worried about an ending because of this, and some communication reaching you, involving an ending to employment, or an ending to a possible investment, or a creative venture. For others of you, if it's not involving directly a person, a fire sign, let's say, this is just saying that your fear is that maybe you're going to be seen as foolish, or you're not going to be taken seriously. So there's an ending to employment, or not. There's a lack of gain in employment, and you're not going to be receiving the positive communication that you're wanting to. But again, these are fears. This is coming up on the Moon card. This is all in your mind. I want to look at the Hanged Man, which is talking about a sacrifice to be made in order for something else to be gained. Okay? Yeah, see, it's saying here that some type of employment, this merchant is a contract, agreement, negotiation of some kind. Something needs to be sacrificed and let go of so that you can have what it is you truly desire. With the Lover's card and the cheerfulness card, it's like there's going to be something worth celebrating and gaining something new by releasing this old contract, agreement, negotiation, old employment, opportunity. For some of you who are seeking employment, this is saying that maybe you have been sacrificing, you have been waiting for quite some time. Finally, something new comes in, and it's a celebration. It's worth celebrating. It brings joy. And it's going to be something that you actually love and enjoy doing. Okay? Those are the general messages. Now I'm going to move to the reading for single Cancers for the month of December. Let's see what's coming up for you guys. Knight of Wands, Ace of Wands, King of Wands. Wow, a lot of wands, guys. Temperance, Ten of Pentacles. That's nice. The Two of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, Justice, and the World card. And at the bottom of the deck, we have, the Ten of Swords. But don't fret, don't worry, because I think after looking at this spread, I really think this Ten of Swords is a situation that's already transpired. It's something that's already happened. It's not something that you need to worry about this month, okay? Something in the past, this is really talking about healing a past situation. I feel like maybe you were involved with someone in the past that was kind of, to be honest, was a cheater, someone who went around and played the field, someone who was always after the next thing, the next exciting opportunity. He's not someone that is very grounded or stable in relationships. In fact, he's someone that probably has never been monogamous, he or she, because they tend to just go where the excitement is, and then as soon as that fizzles out for them, they're on to the next thing. So you may have been involved with someone like this in the past. And this month it's talking about healing yourself emotionally because you felt like, out in the cold. You felt like, as far as the dating scene goes, you're just not in it. You're not partaking in anything. And emotionally, you feel very dry and drained and, not satisfied. But we have Temperance above this Five of Pentacles, and Temperance is all about healing. It's all about balance. It's all about bringing emotional intimacy and love back into your life, because you see she's balancing these cups here. So where maybe you've put a lot of your focus and energy on other portions of your life, whether that be job, career, family, friendships, now it's kind of like we're balancing the scales and we're bringing love back in. And I feel like, for some of you, this can be because we have the Knight and then we have the King, okay? And they're in the same row. And I feel like for some of you, what this is saying is this person who was from your past that behaved that way, maybe they've done some maturing over time. They're now coming back into your life as the King of Wands. So it's someone who's now more emotionally stable and mature and ready for a level of commitment with you. I feel like this relationship had a lot of passion, a lot of sexual chemistry, and yet you're kind of really debating whether or not this is worth returning to, because there was a lot of emotional highs and lows with this person. For others of you, this is a new person, but it's also a fire sign, okay? But this is someone who is more emotionally mature and stable, like I said. Again, we're looking at someone who's got a lot of passion. There's strong sexual chemistry here with this person. And there's potential for long-term success. There's potential here for long-term success. And the Justice card underneath that is really saying, again, we have two cards about balance here. We're balancing the scales now. We're making things fair. We're making things right. Where things have been unbalanced, we're making them more balanced. Yet emotionally, you're maybe struggling with deciding whether or not this person is trustworthy. And that can be because you've been involved with this person in the past, or it can just be because you've had this particular relationship from the past that, you know, you've been very hurt by. The World card says things are coming to completion. Things are coming around full circle. So if this is someone from the past and they're returning, this is the cycle of, you know, the past being complete, starting anew with this person. Or this can mean somebody new, where you're finally able to let go of that past person and allow this new person to usher in love and intimacy into your life. I want to say too, for some of you, this is someone, if it's somebody new, this is someone that's either just moved from overseas or from another place in your country into where you're at, or it's someone that you met or you will meet while traveling. So that's something to look out for. But ultimately, this talks about, you know, healing and connecting and learning how to be vulnerable again and accept love and embrace it. Okay, let's look a little bit more closely here. I want to look at this Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. Yep. You're afraid that this person's not really, truly, emotionally going to be invested. Okay? It's almost like they're the pleasure seeker, foolish actions, behaviors. If this is someone from the past, this is the behavior that they've shown you already. Okay? But you're getting a love letter. You're getting some love letter communication from them saying, hey, I'm back, or I'm interested, even if it's somebody new. And either you're the young woman that they're attracted to, or if you're a male, this is the woman that you're attracted to. Okay? There's still strong chemistry there. Let's look at the King of Wands. King of Wands. Something new. Look it. Either this is a new beginning, like I said, or this is a new relationship. Okay? There's long-term potential here. We have the wedding card, and then we also have the Ten of Pentacles. So there's a strong message here of long-term commitment. And this card can mean high sexual chemistry or attraction, which we see here also with the Ace of Wands. So somebody new or somebody from your past is coming in this month, Cancer. And don't completely just shut it out. I would say if you're feeling like you don't know if you can trust this person, that's perfectly normal. I'm not telling you to fall head over heels and rush into something. Just telling you, you know, definitely take your time, do what makes you feel safe and comfortable, but don't completely shut out the idea, because again, we do see long-term potential here with this person, okay? All right, so the last spread we're going to do is for couple Cancers. Oh. All right. We have the Page of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, Page of Swords, the Four of Swords, the Lovers, the Knight of Wands, and the Seven of Cups. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Swords. Okay, so coupled Cancers. It looks like you're kind of in a bit of a predicament. You have a decision to make in your relationship because I feel like some of you, maybe this is a general message, so it doesn't resonate. It's not going to resonate with everyone. If you'd like a private reading, again, I'll post my information in the information box below. But I tend to feel that what messages do come through in the monthly readings is for those who genuinely, need them the most. So with that said, I'm kind of seeing a situation where there's communication coming in of an ending to a relationship, but I feel like this has been an ongoing kind of off and on kind of relationship. It really lacks stability. And I feel like you've been hanging on to this person or this relationship because you don't want to let them go. But again, you're dealing with someone who's emotionally immature. There's someone who, they're kind of fickle. They're not well suited to commitment and monogamy, because they tend to be someone who goes where the action is. If there's an opportunity, they're going to take advantage of it. And they're not really concerned with other people's feelings or emotions. So I feel like this person has brought upon you a lot of confusion and insecurity. And that may be part of the reason why you're hanging on to it so much, is because, it's like one day you feel like there's potential there, and then other days it's like you realize, it's just not going to pan out the way I want it to. This person doesn't have the capacity. And you got to trust that. You got to trust that. If you have to question someone's sincerity, then that right there tells you what kind of relationship you have. And it's, again, leaving you in this mental space where you feel like you can't move, Emotionally, you're very invested, but they're not as invested in you. So it's hard for you to walk away because you do care about this person. You do love this person. But then there's another part of you that knows you should let them go, that it's not going anywhere. And again, you're stuck. But one important thing I'd like to point out about this card is you see that this woman, she's surrounded by these swords, which are her thoughts, her fears, her insecurities. She's basically limiting herself. But there's this big gap in the swords where she can easily remove herself from this situation. She also has the she has the ability to remove these ties that are around her and the blindfold that's over her eyes if she so chooses. But as of yet, she's not choosing that option because she's afraid to really make a decision and to really remove herself and release herself from these mental binds that constrain her. The Four of Swords here is really saying, we have the Four of Swords, we have the Page of Swords, and then we have the Eight of Cups here. And this is really saying that there's a communication going on here where this person may tell you that they're not as invested or they're going to walk away, and you're forced to take a break in this relationship. You're forced to really take a time out, which is good for you because you're really confused. You need this break. Ultimately, this is the situation, this is where you're headed, or this is what you need to do. And the Lover's card beneath that says you have decisions to make. One thing about the Lover's card is, in the tarot, the Fool is on a journey, and the tarot is all about a story, and it's the story of the Fool. And when he comes to this point in his journey, he meets this beautiful woman, but he had just started his journey. He meets this beautiful woman and he falls in love with her and he enjoys her company and they spend a great deal of time together. And she finally asks him, will you stay here with me or will you continue on your journey? Because she's not willing to go forward with him. And he says, he has a decision to make whether or not he's going to stay or whether he's going to go on to his journey and discover his true self. So that's your choice here. Either you can settle in this relationship with whomever it may be, or you can continue on your journey to find your true partner or your true calling, where destiny is leading you. But ultimately, the guidance here, the advice is to move on because it does lack stability. Okay? Let's look a little bit further here into this. And I want to look at the center card, the Page of Swords. whatever this communication is that leads you to leave the situation or the relationship, can be you leaving or this person leaving you. Either way, you're going to be in this place where you're taking a time out and you're reflecting and you're recuperating from everything that has transpired. But on the Page of Swords, we have the scholar. So this is someone who's, studying and researching and analyzing and trying to learn about a situation and come out better for it. And then we have this card which talks about fickleness, tactlessness. Again, this person is, the way they come across and the way that they'll be communicating this ending, it's not going to be like, they're just not emotionally mature. They're not going to look out for your interests or your emotions. They're just going to they're in and out, And what you don't realize is that this is a reprieve for you. This gives you an opportunity to rest. This gives you an opportunity to really reflect on, hey, what is this really about? Is this something I really want to continue to pursue? Because this person's in and out. They're here and then they're gone the next day. They're very fickle and they're not careful with my emotions and my feelings, even though in the way that they communicate to me. And so that's a choice you have to make, I want to look at the Seven of Cups. Yeah, see, there's confusion because a part of you wants a long-term commitment with this person. And when you are with them and everything's going smooth, you have a lot of fun with them. But at the end of the day, you feel single. Like you're not getting the emotional intimacy that you need. Yeah, they may be a fun person to go out with and hang out with and do things with, but you still are lacking that emotional intimacy. And you feel single. And you're questioning if that's the road you should go down, is just to be single and open yourself up for new romantic opportunities. Okay? So that's what I have for you, Cancer, for the month of December. I do wish you all a wonderful month. Happy New Year. Happy holidays again. And if you'd like a private reading or you'd like to contact me, I'll post that in the information box below. And I will see you all in the next month. Bye.